Good afternoon. I would like to ensure that all of my messages always come back to why legislative authority for citizens is important. I never want you to not think about that. But what we need to do is I need for you to get through this whole video so you can understand how we got here. What is tying us together? It's taxes. Taxes are tying us all together. Why do we care about what's going on in other countries? Because of taxes. It's the one thing that binds all of us. And it's important that we understand it. NATO was created April 4th, 1949, primarily as a collective defense alliance to counter the threat posed by the Soviet Union and its expanding influence in Europe after World War II. So, we elected officials, those officials came to the understanding that the idea behind the Soviet Union and the term communism was not something that we wanted. Here is the explanation. The ideological opposition as to why America during that time had an issue with the Soviet Union. The U.S. was founded on principles of democracy, individual freedoms, and capitalism, which are fundamentally at odds with the communist ideology promoted by the Soviet Union. Communism advocated for state control of the economy, the abolition of private property, and a single-party system, which the U.S. saw as a threat to personal liberty and democratic governance. Let's stop right there. We're learning now. Democrats and Republicans have been trying to control the House. Control the House. One party controls the House. We created NATO so that we would not have a single party system. So that not a single party could have total control. This was part of, hey, we don't believe that we should ever give sole power to any particular being, whether it be the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, any parties created. We always need to have checks and balances. This was the ideal of America. We got into the Cold War, which wasn't like a major battle. It was just small skirmishes that happened. This is how we got here. Well, how did that involve the regular citizen? Because taxpayer money had to fund these things. Taxpayer money had to fund these things. The Cold War, it lasted from, the Cold War lasted from 1922 to 1991. 1922 to 1991. So what did we do? We started funding other countries to show them, hey, democracy is the way. So we started providing aid. We provided U.S. aid. We provided U.S. aid before they had a USAID, because we understood, hey, if we allow the influence of something we don't believe in to fester, it could be harmful for us. So we fixed it. That's what happened. Now, fast forward 1991. The Cold War is over. Ukraine in 1991 left the Soviet Union and became an independent nation, because we all know Ukraine is in the news right now. They became an independent nation. This entire time, America has been allying to ensure that the communist ideals that they had been telling American taxpayers, the citizens, because remember, the taxes tie us together because we all pay those, that the citizens, this is why we told you that it was important that you give us your money so that we can fund these things, so that we can ensure that we lay the groundwork for democracy so that we don't allow a monarchy to happen, so that we don't allow the negative parts of an oligarchy to happen. And we needed to fund that. So we needed all taxpayers to come together. Now, again, I'm promoting legislative authority for citizens because even though that's what we wanted, somewhere they stopped telling the message. Information is important. Controlling information is super important. Propaganda works best on the uninformed. Propaganda works best on the uninformed. Do not be uninformed. Now, here is something that you need to know. Here, we had a Korean War, a Vietnam War, the Bays of Pigs invasion, and other Cold War conflicts and incidents, Lebanon, the Berlin crisis, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Dominican Republic, Grenada, El Salvador, Libya, and other covert operations and incidents. We lost an estimated 100,000 American citizens during this time to fight for our allies. And to show you that it was working, Ukraine in 1991 removed itself from the 15 Republicans. It removed itself from the 15 Republicans. So that showed us that the things that we were doing to ensure the ideal of communism did not spread was working. So my question to all citizens, because what ties us together is taxes. My question to you is, has it been explained to us that ideal has changed? Has the narrative been declared that it has changed and that now our finances, the taxpayer money that we send, should go elsewhere? Because we no longer need to be concerned about, we don't need to be concerned about communism in the sense that we were at that time. Again, communism advocated for state control of the economy. Are we losing control of our economy? The abolition of private property. Are we finding out that there currently are individuals who would like to build corporate areas to live and citizens live there, losing private property? Are we showing ourselves to be a single party system? Is there currently in our system, happening right now, one group that has total control and is making all the decisions, regardless of the fact that they have a margin of error? They still have one party has the control. Do we not? Because it says the U.S. saw a threat to personal liberty and democratic governance if we saw those things happening. And we saw them happening in the Soviet Union, which cost American lives. Estimated 100,000 plus, to ensure that we did not allow that to happen. Now, as citizens, if you want to scream about being patriotic, did those 100,000 that we can name and the ones that we can't, did they throw their lives away? Did they waste their lives? Because today, if we cannot answer, if we have as a country changed our ideology and now we want to see state-controlled governance of our economy, we want to see the abolition of private property, and we want to see a single party or individual rule everything. Have we given up democracy? And are we okay with that? I consistently advocate for citizens to have control. And I will not change that narrative. These are factual, historical stats and documentation. You can look it up. It's factual. The ideology, if the ideology has changed, and because we're in a republic democracy, meaning our representatives have decided for us, the single party representatives have decided that those 100,000 lives, those 100,000 estimated individuals who gave their life to make sure that when we built those allies, that we had them and we backed them, because we did not want to see democracy crumble around the world, because we knew it would fester if it was allowed to. We knew it would fester. So we said the best thing to do is to create the largest social program ever. Hello, April 4th, 1949, we got NATO. The largest social program, the first global social program. Hello, NATO. We're here to help other countries. How we use that money is important. We see cheating at the lowest levels. Of course, we're going to see cheating at the highest levels. The only issue is, as a citizen, is anybody asking for your input that's going to be weighted? Did we change our minds? Do we not want to own anything anymore? Do we want to be singularly ran? Have we changed the ideals? That's what's important. Have we changed the ideals? I would love to just talk about legislative authority for citizens, because there's a ton of issues that go on in Florida. There's a ton. But the one thing that ties us to this federal government is taxes. That's taxpayer money. It's going to always tie us all together. It doesn't matter right now. The nuance of if billionaires are paying or not paying, there is money coming from them. It may not be their fair share, but we're all tied together with taxes. That means we all deserve a say-so. That means that if we don't want to be a part of NATO, I should have been asked. I should have been able to weigh in. But because of our current system, I don't have to be asked. And no one has to ask me to weigh in. Imagine if someone running for office were to tell you, yes, I'm running for office. I want to be governor of Florida, but I want to let you know something. Because we don't have any laws to say that I can't lie to you, I'm going to lie to you. Because we don't have any laws that says that everything that I campaign on, I'm not going to implement when I get into office. And you know what? As long as I don't break constitutional laws, I'm going to be here at a minimum for 4 years, because I have to do something to be impeached. But if I don't do anything to be impeached, I could have lied to you. I could have lied to you to get here. And I can tell you anything that I want to tell you. And I want to stop that part from happening. But you got to put me in the seat so that we can do this. You got to put me in the seat. I don't know why. I don't know honestly why we haven't had representatives that have simply said, hey, if you're going to run for an elected office, you cannot lie. If you're going to campaign on specific things, you shall present those bills and allow them to be voted on. How many campaign promises have you heard that do not have to be followed through? How many? Plenty. I'm going to follow through. I'm going to follow through, and we're going to find out what's going on. But citizens, hear me. We need to be a part of checks and balances. Formally and officially, we need to be a part of checks and balances, not just voting a single person in. This is an interview, and I'm telling you why I'm qualified for the job. And I'm asking you to select me for the job. And when you select me for the job, I will work for the people. And I'm going to make sure that constitutionally that elected officials answer to the boss, which is the people who elect them. Which is the people who elect them. If I come to you for the interview, then how do I not answer to you? Now go back to that town hall video I did. The reason they don't have to is because we don't have anything to hold them accountable. 4 years? I gotta wait 4 years to hold you accountable when I can stop you from passing bills because you're not paying attention to the needs that we want? Ah, absolutely not. We're gonna fix it. You guys have a great day, and I hope you learned something. I really do. And if you made it to the end, check out the website that's above me. We need legislative authority for citizens. But we have to remember why we got here. Build the correlation. You guys have a great day.